Video we are going to learn about CSS Grid module. We have already covered complete HTML, basics of CSS and Flexbox module in our front-end developer essential course. So now let's understand what is CSS Grid module and how it is better than Flexbox. So basically, Flexbox is our one-dimensional. Flexbox is used for one-dimensional layout, and this grid is used for two-dimensional layout. And we can say that this Flexbox is used for small scale layout, and this grid is used for the large scale layout. So to understand more difference, let's get into the coding part. So I would recommend you, if you do not know about HTML or basics of CSS or Flexbox, so first post my earlier videos. You can check out all the videos by this front-end developer essential course. So now let's jump to this. So here I have this HTML boilerplate and this empty CSS file which I have linked. So let me add some container, and in that container what I am going to add, I am going to add some items. So I have items, and for in this item I'm going to give some IDO class. Maybe I'm giving some class which is item and item number. So this will be class, and here I'm going to add some number also. So I can say I need 8 items, and for all this 8 item I'm going to use let's say a 1, or I can say I will add number, or I can say I will use box 1. So this will be like that. So here if I do this, so this is basically image where we can use a single line, and with the help of single line I can write it here. So here all item have a one common class which is items, and one, item 2, item 2, 3, which I can use as id or class, so that I can give a unique property as well. So now let's jump to our CSS part. So we have a container, and we have our items, and so let me just give some width, height, and that. So I'm giving background color. Let's say background color is, and then I'm giving padding 20 pixel. I'm giving border, if I save that, so it's look like this. So I'm right now I'm giving it to width, let's say 20 pixel. Okay, some width 40 pixel. So right now this items looks like this. So this is perfect for right now. And let me give some padding here also. Padding 20 pixel, border and let me give some background. Background is okay. So this is our grid, and this is our container. It's not grid right now. So in grid, like Flexbox, we have two things. In Flexbox we have a flex container and flex items. So in grid we have two things. One is a grid container. So where I apply the grid property, it will be the grid container, and there is something called grid item. So this will be my grid container, and this will be my grid items. So all these boxes, 8 boxes, will be my grid item, and I will going to make this a grid container. So how to make a container a grid? It's very simple. Use the display property. In display I can use a grid, or I can use inline grid. I can use inline grid. In both of them will make my table, will make my container grid. So what is the difference? So if I use grid, so it will make my grid container a block level grid, or if I make it inline grid, so it will make it inline level grid. Okay, so that means all items will be inline. So now let's jump to this. So after display we have to specify how many number of columns we will have in our grid. Okay, so I can say that for that I will use grid template columns. So here I can specify how many columns we will have and what will the width of that column. So if I am using, let's say I'm using 100 pixel, 100 pixel and 100 pixel, what does it mean? It means we will have three column, and each column will have 100 pixel width. So this is one column, this is second column, and this is third column. Now I can remove this width part. So you can see that I have three column and all of the three column have this width. So generally we do not do this pixel. The reason is if I do this pixel thing, then this place will be empty. So what we do generally, rather than writing this, we write grid one fr, one fr and one fr. And what does this fr means? This fr means fraction. So what it means, that we have this and we are going to divide all the column in one part and one part. So we will have a three part. So we are going to do divide this width in the three part, and the one third part will be this, one third part will be this, and one third part will be this. We can give according to us. I can say that I will going to divide this complete width into the four part, where one part will be given to box 1, two part will be box 2, and three part will be this. So we can give something like this also. Okay, so this is how we give specify the number of columns, that is here 3, and we specify number of what will the width of that specified column. Okay, so we can do something like this also. If I have to do one fr, so rather than writing this 3 times or 8 times, let's say if I have 8 columns, so rather than writing this 8 times, 12 times, we can directly write using the keyword repeat. So in this repeat, first we write how many times it should be repeat. So let's say if I write 3 times, and what it will be repeat, I am saying 1 fr. So here you can see it's the same. Okay, so either I write this or I write this. This is the same, so we write in this way. So let's say if there is 1 fr, and then there is 2 fr, and then again there is 1 fr, and then 2 fr. Okay, I'm saying 2 fr. If there is something like this, if we have something like this, first is 1, then this is 2, this is 1, this is 2. So for writing this, we can write here 1 fr, 2 fr, and how many times it will repeat? It is repeating 2 times. So I can say this is repeating 2 times, one time this, one time this. So if I make this, so it will the same result. I hope you understand the repeat parameter. So after this repeat, we have our same grid template rows. So what does it specify? I can say this column specify this grid column tell number of column and its width and I can say width of each column. And what this grid row specify? This will tell number of rows and height of each row. So here I can let's say we have a row right now. So I can write like first is, assume we have a first is our header. So I'm going to make it small. So let me make it 200 pixel. And second is our I can say main article. So for that I'm giving it 500 pixels. So you can see that it's like this. So I can make some more for now. So this is how we give the height. So we can give in percentage also of the container, and so this is how we specify height. And if we have to write, we can use simple repeat or repeat also here. So now after this grid template row, we have something called the justify content. So justify items. So what this items mean? So here how this item is we have. So if I do something like um making, if I am making padding, everything is fine. Okay, so how this justify items mean? So first of all, we have a center. So in the center, what will happen? All the justify item will be in the center. You can say it's going in this axis. Okay, so this going in this axis, and if I make that start, so it will start starting from here. And if I'm making this inside, what I can say, let me explain you with the help of developer tools so that you can understand it in a more better way. So just deep dive here, and here I have this. So if you see here, oh, what is this justify items? What I am here doing is, first of all, it's start. So if I make it center, so it's look like this. Start, it's look like this, and it will look like this, and this will be our stretch. So if I do stretch, so it's look like this. Okay, so this is our justify items. And the similarly we have a justify content. We have a justify content, and I have already explained this too in our flexbox, that what there are difference between items and the content. So this content will also manage the space between them. So for 1 second I will explain you. Let's say if I am making this center, so what this center mean? This center mean, let's say this is our column 1. This entire is our column 1, and in that column 1, if I am explaining with the help of this, let me, okay, so if you see clearly, so here this is the एक second, give me a second. Okay, so here you can see this is our column 1, and in that column 1, this is in the center. This is in the center. These boxes are in the center. You can see that brown, that purple line, that is whole our column, and in that column this boxes is in the center. That means this boxes which is our item, that is center. But here if I do justify content, in that case what will happen? In justify content, our whole item, our whole content is in center. So if I do here, you can understand this whole column is in center. Okay, I hope you understand this. So now the whole column is in the center. I hope this makes sense to you. So what is the justify items and what is justify center? And the properties are, all the properties are same. So what I can do here, if I explain you here, there can be end property, where this is at the end of one column, the boxes, the items are at the end, and I can do and start, and I can do space around. Okay, I can do space, I can do space between. Okay, so these are the property, and write center here. So similarly we have this property for justify content also. I can write this, I can write a space around, or I can write a space between. So I have to write either of this. Okay, straight evenly. So now what we are going to do is, after this justify content and justify item, this justify items and justify content, align items in our main axis, or we can say in horizontal direction, direction. This align in the horizontal direction, where it manages spaces between the items, and this manage only the items only. So now let me understand how we can align items in vertical direction. So here, for that, let me give some min height. So let me give some height. Let's say I have this height is 70 vh. Okay, or let me give it to 900 pixel. Okay, so this is right now the height it is. So this is the height I can make it 100 VH for better. Okay, so now how I can do that? So similarly, we have a two property, align items and align content. So I can write align items start, or I can write and, sorry, that is, so this is at the starting, this is start, and this is at end, or I can write it center. So this is at the center, or I can write a space around. So this is a space around. So if you see clearly, so what's happened here is this box is, if I writing this end, so this is a box, this is a box, and in that box it is starting at end start. So let me explain with the help of developer tool so that you can visualize thing very better. So I hope this makes sense right now. So this is our here. If I go this items element, if you see there, this is a container where the first item, the first row is at the starting, is at the end. This is the end of first row, and this is the end of second row. This is the end of second row. So they are at the end part. But if I do that center, so they are at the center. This is the complete 500 pixel. This is the what is the length of this row? We have given it 300. This 300 pixel. For this 300 pixel, these items are at the center. Okay, and this is 100 pixel, and at the 100 pixel they are at the center. So if I make some more for right now, I hope you understand this. So if I make this start, so the start of the row is here and at the 100 pixel, so it is starting, and this is at the starting. So we can write this. So we can have align items, different property, align items start, or we can have align items, and we can have a stretch. So if I stretch, then what will happen? These items, the second item have a height 300 pixel, so it will stretch to 300 pixel, and this first item, first row item have this height 100 pixel, so it will stretch to 100 pixel. Okay, so that means stretch. And after that we have this baseline things. Okay, so this will make all the items in the baseline. If I make any items, let's say if I'm making item 5, item 5 height is let's say 500 pixel. Okay, and their padding let's say 40 pixel. And if I make that baseline, so right now you can see that it is not in the same, but if I made baseline, so you can see that all the content is in the same line, the base is same. Okay, so I hope you understand this align item thing. So for right now, let me just comment this thing. Okay, so I hope you understand this align item, and this align item, this will manage in the columns items. So now if I have to manage the content, so what I will do align content, and it is very similar to the justify content. If I make it center, so this will be at the center. Okay, if I for now, let me just comment this so that you can see only the align content property. So we can do align content center, or we can do start, and I can do here. So this is align content, and align content start, align content, we can do align content space between, or align content center. This is the align content center. If you see that items are in the center, so here if I do between, then there this is the padding. So I have given some padding here, I guess. Yeah, this is the padding that I have given to the container. Otherwise what will happen in the space between, it is like this. Okay, so did I give some more padding or anything here? No. So if I do space around, so there will be space from here and here, and if I do space evenly, so the space is same. Right now you can see the space between the items and the space the starting of the container and end of the container is same. But if I do this space around, then this space will be half of this space that I have already mentioned in the Flexbox. And then we have a stretch. In that stretch, they will stretch to whole. That means this is a 300 pixel, this is 100 pixel. Okay, So after that, this is our align content property. After align content, we have a property known as gap. So the last property we can give to this container. There are many more property, but the most important last property we have the gap. So if we want to give gaps to their columns on the row, so how we can give? So let's say if I have my row and I have to give gap, so I will say row gap and row gap. If I am giving the 50 pixel, so what will happen? This is my first row, this is my second row, and both of them in this row the gap is 50 pixels. So I can give, similarly I can give the column gap also. So if I write column gap, so here if I am giving 10 pixel, so you can see in that column we have this 10 pixel gap. This is column 1, this is column 2, and the gap is 10 pixel. So rather than writing in the two way, we can write in the simple gap, and in that gap I can write first row gap and that column gap. This is still same. If I write this or if I write this is basically same. So this is all about like grid container. There are more properties to explore. You can explore by yourself, and I can say that this is the most important property that you are going to use, and in which you are going to use most of these justify items, content, and align item and align content property, and this. So now let's jump to our grid items property, where we are going to see what are the property that we can put in the items. So let me make this item. So for this item, make this, I can 500, or don't give some random height and width. What I will do, so here I am explaining you grid items property, or I can say properties. So here the first property we have is let's say if I have to make this specific, right now it's this. So if I have to make this box 5, this will have, I want to make here only the three boxes. So what I can do, I can make this grid, and I can say this grid column start. I can say grid column start, that for this item 5 column will start from this one. Okay, so right now it's starting from 1, and I can say this grid column start, and so this grid column and it ending with 3. Okay, so what will happen here? If you see, then what will happen, this column, this box will start from this column 1 and will end before this column 3. It is not including this. If you see, this is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3. This column 3 is starting here, this column 3 is starting here. So before the starting of 3, this is our this. So I can write similar thing. I can write this with the shorthand of grid column. I can write grid column, and if I write 1, this will be the start, and I can write 3. So either I write this thing or I write this thing, these are the same thing. So this is how I can make my one container different from others. So I can, if I have to make because I am not going to count how many number of column we have. So what I can do, let's say if I have to make a starting from column 1, and I want to make that this column, this box should have a span of 3 column. Okay, this box should expand to 3 column. So in that case, what I will do, I will uncomment this and let me comment this. So in that case, I will write grid column is and will be span 3. But this span 3 means that start from 1 and take the space of 3 column. So it is starting from 1, this column 1, and take the space of 1, 2, 3 column. Okay, I hope you understand the difference between 3 and 3. So rather than writing in 2 line, we can similarly write in 1 line. Okay. So basically, if you write rather than grid column, I prefer this because this make more clear. You can understand this, what happening, grid column start, grid column end, but this is not very clear, or you can say readable. Okay, so if I write this, so grid column 1 slash span 3, so this means that this column, this item 5 column is starting at column 1, and then it's take a 3 column space. Okay, so similarly, grid column, we have a grid row. Okay, so grid row, we have similarly grid row start, and we have a grid row and so if I want to make this box, if I want to this box one to take this two, right now I have this three row. So if I am taking this start ending at 3 and this at 1, so if you say that it is taking two row, okay, a space of 2 row, and this is taking a space of wait, yeah, this is item 5 now. I assume that is item 1. So what this box 5 will do, this box 5 will take the space of starting from row 1, okay. If I make this 2, if I make this 2, so you can see right now it's like this. So it's starting from 2 and end before 3, that is its earlier position. So if I can make this 4, so you can see that. So now it's look like this. So what I can say, this is my header which have a, like, say there is one icon, there is some menus, there is something called view profile, or there is some more links, and this is my main area, this is sidebar, this is some adding section, and I can make this box 8. I can make this box 8 as my footer. So if I'm going to make this items item 8, and if I make this grid column, I will say that 1, and span 4, if I make this. So you can see that that is completely, this is completely like my website. It's very easy to make a website with the help of grid. I do not have to make a multiple flexbox, that this is one flexbox where I have a 4 items, this is one flexbox where I have this 3 items, where is one flexbox. So you can clearly see that with the help of grid how easily we can make things. So after this grid row grid right, I can simply write this as a grid row, and if I write this grid row, so what this will manage, so grid row is manage our height of this. So if I'm making I can make this 1, oh sorry, 2 plus 4, so this will be the same, and rather than writing 4 I can write this taking is span 2, okay. So what does it mean, is starting from 2 and take the space of 2 row. So if I make this, so this is the same thing, this is the same thing. So I hope you understand these things also. So now after this, let's understand, let's go to we have covered these items, column and column start, and then there is something called a grid area. So what this grid area means, this grid area is like shortcut for this grid row and grid column. So how it's go, it will go that first what is the start of row, then start of column, then is end of row, then end of row, and then end of column. So we have to specify this position, okay. So we have to specify this, I have to specify this thing. So let me show you how I can do that. So if I have to display this property, so how I can do, I will say that grid, hey my grid, you have my grid area, and grid area you have property that you are starting. So where is starting as 2, so grid row is starting as 2, and then I have this column is starting as 1, and then after column my grid is starting and is span 2, okay. I can write the span 2 or I can write 3, whatever it is. So after that I will write this is span 3 is the column end, so I can write span 3. So this is how I write, and this is exactly same thing. Either I write this 4 property, either I write this 2 and this 2, total 4 property, or I write this thing, or either I write this 2 property, or I write this is the same. You can write any of them. So this is about our grid item property. Let's explore some more properties. So we have something more properties on the container as well. We can use this what we can say, we can have a property place items or place content. In the place content, what we can manage, we can give the justify content and align content. So here we have a justify content and align content. So this is a shorthand, like this is a shorthand, and similarly we have a place items is a shorthand of our justify items and our align items. So I have already explained both of this for all for this all of four these properties. So if you want to make this in a single line, then you can make, but I generally suggest we make this way, because this way is you can easily debug things. You can the code is readable to other developer also. So this is about our grid items. So the last property we have, last property I want to discuss here is the grid template property. So for that, let me just make a new container. I'm making the container 2, and in that container I'm making my let's say I'm making my header. I'm making my what you can say, my article, my article, and one aside, sorry, one aside, and you can say last is our footer. So I'm making this, I'm making this so that you can understand that how easily we can make things our website with the help of this grid. So let me just give, I have my container 2, and for that container I'm making my background red. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, let me just give some height to it. Let me give some height, let's say that have a 90 vh. Okay, so that you can easily see that. So here what I'm gonna do here is, I have my what you can say, header. I have my header, I have my article, I have my article, and I have a site, I have my photo, and I'm going to give some things to here. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to give its grid area. So I am going to use some name for it. I'm saying header. Okay, so this is header. I'm saying grid area, and for that I'm using article, grid area. So with the help of this name, what I am going to do, I am going to manage this complete width and all. So for this I'm taking grid area footer. Okay, so now I have explained this. So now what I am going to do is, for this container, first of all I am going to make this display and grid. So once I made this grid, so the next thing I will do is grid template area. Okay, so we have I have already explained that what is this grid columns and row. You can specify in that also. Okay, first of all you explain your columns, then rows. So rather than doing this, what I'm going to do, I will explain directly area. So this will manage our both columns and the row. So first of all I am going to add here the first row. I have my header. So let me just give some background here. So I'm giving background. So background here is let's say yellow, green yellow, or I can say yellow only. Okay, and its background, make this copy. Okay, so now what I am gonna do is, in this I am saying this first is my header, and then I make in second row I am going to use first my article, and article will take more space. Let's say this article, and then I will have my side, and then I will have my footer, and footer. So what is the mistake here is, this will be here. So here I can say, let me write it in the this. So it will be header. So I am writing this 4 times. So what this is mean, I will have 4 column, and where the first row will contain only my footer, and this footer is managed by this grid area. So here if you see that, okay, the thing is I have to give them the different color. Let me give this this color, so you can easily understand this is my article. And let me give some aside, let me give its blue color, so that you can visualize thing. and for the footer I'm giving black color. So you can see here, this is my header, this is my header, this is my article, this is my article, this is my asset. So I can make this more bigger, and this all things with the help of my grid row, and I can make this also. But this is the basic structure. You can see that the first is our header. In that header we this is where our main part. In this we can have our header, we can have our cursor, we can have our nav links, and here we will write our main content. Here we will write something, you can say sidebars, and here in this footer I can manage this also. So I can manage its row height and width with the help of grid template row and this. So I hope you understand the what is this grid areas, grid template, and I hope you understand our grid properties, all the container and the items property. If it helps you, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'm going to make further videos. I'm going to complete this front-end developer essential course, in which you are going to see all the basics of CSS and JavaScript, and then we will going to move to the advance of them, and we are going to build so many projects. So I would recommend you to just watch from starting and build some things, and do some assignments. I will going to give some assignments to you also, and so do share it with your friends and check out the source code in the description. Let's meet in the next video.